Hello everyone in the Secrets to Sleep Baby and Toddler Sleep Help group. My name is Courtney. I'm a pediatric sleep consultant. I help families get a really great night of sleep so they can enjoy the time with their little ones. Okay, today we are doing just kind of like a quick Friday live, soon to be the weekend. But let's chat about frequent night waking. Okay, what's this about? Is it normal and why is my baby doing this? Okay. One thing I get asked a lot, so I talk with a lot of families, a lot of families, okay? They tell me my little one, especially 0 to 4 months of age, they slept pretty well. They could sleep 5 hours straight, 6, 7 hours straight. Suddenly around maybe 4 months, it can be later for others, it could be 5 or 6 for others, but they had some sort of regression at some point in time where they went from sleeping longer stretches to sleeping even worse than a newborn. So what is the frequent night waking about? I get people asking me questions, something along the lines of, is my baby normal? And pretty much is my baby okay? Concerned about their health. Sometimes people even go to their, pediatrician and they're worried, why does my baby wake up so much in the night? Is something wrong with my baby? Okay? I'm here to tell you that there's nothing wrong with your baby. So this is very common. Very common. I don't necessarily want to use the word normal, yeah, it's totally normal. I want to use the word common. It's super common. So many babies and toddlers are waking up frequently in the night. Here's what it's about, okay? And I'll give you a hint. It's not about hunger. There's no reason why a 4-month-old baby who could once, at one point in time sleep, 7-hour stretches, something like that, suddenly just be really hungry every hour or two in the night. It's 100% not about hunger, okay? Once you have a 6-month-old and older, they do not need to feed in the night anymore for hunger, okay? That's not what the frequent night waking is about. So, frequent night waking, let's talk about this. So when I do my free sleep strategy calls with everyone, I always explain night waking. So we all wake in the night in our sleep. So we have deep sleep, and then we have light sleep. And in our light sleep, if there's something wrong, we wake up fully awake. So if in my light sleep I get too hot, I wake up, I throw my blanket off, I roll over and go back to sleep. If I'm too cold, I wake up, I grab a blanket, I put it on, I roll over, go back to sleep. If I have to go to the bathroom, I wake up fully, I go to the bathroom, I go back to sleep. Okay? This is a normal process. So we actually all, here we go, frequent night waking. We all frequently wake in our sleep. Some nights you're gonna remember it more than others. Maybe I'm last night was really cold. I live in Canada. It's cold, and I sleep with big blankets, but I still felt cold. I kept waking up, kind of making sure the blankets were really on, falling back asleep, right? Because there was something in my brain that was wrong. I needed to take care of, right? I don't really think about it when I wake up the next morning because it was, in my natural, sleep cycle, no big deal. It was very quick, no big deal. So our babies and toddlers, why are they waking so much in the night? The reason is because there's something in their minds that they need to wake up for, okay? Something in their minds that they need to fall back asleep. That's what the frequent night waking is about. Not hunger, okay? They're not hungry. Even if they're waking up for a bottle, it's not because they're hungry. Okay, so this is where we talked about falling asleep, being able to fall asleep on our own is a skill. It's a milestone. It's something we learn at some point in time. So if your little one is always being rocked to sleep, is always being breastfed to sleep, has a soother to fall asleep, they're about 4 to 8 months of age, they can't take the soother and put it back in their mouth, then every time they're in their light point in their sleep, if they wake up, they feel like they need help getting back to sleep. That's what the frequent night waking is about, okay? So it's like they're in that light point in their sleep, and then they're like, okay, I'm just waiting for that rocking to happen for me to get back into my next, deep phase of sleep. And then they're kind of waiting, and they're like, no, that's not happening for some reason. Why am I not just being rocked to sleep? It's kind of like when you're, on a car ride, and you're on a long car ride, babies will just sleep so long, they'll just keep sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. It's because the motion is continuous, right? When you're in a stroller ride, they sleep so long. When they're contact napping, if that's their thing, they sleep really long. But if you put them into their crib, they just wake up right away. What is that about? It's because that thing that they feel like they need in order to get to sleep isn't there anymore. So when they're in their deep sleep, yeah, they'll sleep through fine. But then once they're in their light sleep again, they'll wake up. They're like, oh, I need rocking. Yeah, every time to go back to sleep, please. I need rocking. Okay, that's what that's about. So what's with the frequent night waking? We all do frequent night waking. All babies are doing frequent night waking, even those that are not, we call it signaling, which means like alerting their parents to their needs. Toddlers are always doing frequent night waking. Okay, so we're all waking up in the night, and it's just that some can roll over and put themselves back to sleep, and others feel like they need something. Okay, so is your baby normal? Your baby is normal. There's nothing wrong with your baby. These are actually good, healthy, biological needs that we wake up in the night. So if something's actually wrong, we can take care of ourselves. And then the problem is that if there's something that's more of like a habit that they feel like they need, and it's not helpful for, us to get a really great night of sleep, then that's where it's like, it's common that this happens, but it doesn't have to be your normal, if that makes sense. We call these sleep associations, okay? So if your little one is waking up in the night constantly because they want you to rock them back to sleep, your little one has a rocking to sleep association. It's a habit. It can be changed. Doesn't have to be there. It's just that it takes time and effort and a process to change habits and to learn new skills. Okay? So it's just like if you go to the grocery store with your kids, okay, and they see candy as they're checking out, okay? If you give them candy every single time at the checkout, what are they going to do the next time you get to the grocery store, right? They're going to want their candy every time at the checkout. So this is where people are like, I'm just going to wait it out. I'm just going to wait till they grow out of this habit. If we always do the thing that they have, the habit in place, right? If we go to the grocery store and our kids want candy and we give them candy, the next time we go to the grocery store, they want candy. If we just keep giving them the candy and giving it to them, well, it's going to be really hard to wait it out, right? Because it's a habit, and we're just reinforcing the habit every single time we do it. The only way to change the habit is actually to stop giving them the candy. I think that's a tough one because people are like, well, then my baby's going to cry if I stop giving them the candy at the grocery store. It's like, yes, they will, right? And I know it's not exactly the same as sleep, but it is a habit, and we can make changes to it. I recommend gradual, gentle changes as opposed to just, stopping completely rocking your babies. But the point is that if you continue rocking your baby, they're going to continue having this habit. They're going to continue with the night waking. If you continue breastfeeding your baby to sleep, they're going to continue waking up to be breastfed back to sleep in the light points in their sleep. If you have a 4 to 8 month old baby who wakes up in the night, their soother has been, spit out, they need it back again, they're going to need you to continue putting it back into their mouth until they are old enough to do so themselves. I started to go more into like toddlers as well, just because I know that there's a large amount of people in this group that have toddlers that struggle with sleep. With toddlers, there's like an extra layer, more to do with kind of like boundaries and separation anxiety. If you have not seen the Toddler live about boundaries and separation anxiety, I recommend going to the featured section and watching that live. Just because it might not be rocking, it might not be feeding for your toddler. For your toddler, it could just be that they, want to snuggle while they fall asleep. They want the physical contact. Or the other thing is that they just want you present while they fall asleep. So if they want you to sit next to them, at bedtime when they fall asleep, then when they wake up in the night, they want you there again when they fall asleep. Sleep associations, okay? So that's what this is about and whether it's normal or not. Okay. Yeah, this is where the terms kind of like sleep training, self-settling methods, sleep transition, they come into place. The point is that there are habits in place that can change, there are strategies that we can use to change these habits that are in place. That's what I'm saying about this, okay? I had someone, write a post saying, we don't have the time, or ability to sleep train right now. What else do you recommend? So that's why it's so funny. because to me, and I'm going to try and say this in like a really wonderful way, because I know it always comes as like offensive. I'm trying to be really helpful, okay? To me, it comes across as, I can't prioritize this right now. I'm looking for, like a quick, easy fix. And this is where I'm like, man, I would love to give you a quick, easy fix if there was one, but there's not, because there's habits in place that are interfering with your little one's ability to connect sleep cycles, and there is nothing that I can really do to help you when that is true. So I know that no one wants to hear that it's a priority issue, because people tell me all the time, but I'm really, really tired, I can't do that. Work is really crazy, I can't do that. All of these reasons why, and I totally get it. I'm a mom. I'm tired too. Life's tough sometimes. Sometimes we just do what we gotta do. I completely understand that. And I don't wanna deny any of that. I don't wanna make anyone feel bad at all. I'm very compassionate. But if you wanna know how to get your children to sleep really well, we have to make changes. We have to stop the rocking. We have to get rid of the soother if you have a 4 to 8 month old baby, or you are planning to wait it out for 4 months, which, hey, like, to each to their own. I'm a fan of getting rid of soothers because they interfere with sleep. If it's a breastfeeding to sleep issue, the way that you have to, stop with the frequent night waking is actually to stop breastfeeding them until they're asleep, okay? And unless we stop and we just keep going on, so this is, to me, is why it's so challenging, because people don't always believe me, and they're like, I'm just going to try a few more things. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. I'm like, okay, well, let me know, because this is interfering with our little one's ability to connect sleep cycles. This is why I started calls for those who rock their babies to sleep, those who feed their babies to sleep, and toddler sleep strategy calls as well, because I know it's a completely different scenario if you're not rocking or feeding to sleep, but you have a toddler that just wants you there to fall asleep. This is why I started these sleep strategy calls, because the rocking has to stop. And this is where everyone goes, but I can't just stop. My baby really needs to be rocked. They really feel like they need it. And this is why there are gentle strategies that I highly recommend, and that's why I started the calls, to talk all about those strategies. So my strategies that I recommend look something along the lines of rocking until super, super sleepy, placing a baby in bed. When they cry, picking them up again, rocking until super sleepy, placing them in a bed again. Okay, so that would be the starting phase of the strategy I recommend for those who are rocking to sleep. Breastfeeding to sleep would be similar. Breastfeed till super sleepy, unlatch, either place in bed, or if you're co-sleeping, keep them chilling. Breastfeed until super sleepy, unlatch, do it again, okay? Toddlers, it's a different strategy because they have different challenges, but these are some of the ideas behind the methods that I recommend. So if you want to get on a call to talk about breastfeeding to sleep, rocking to sleep, toddler sleep strategies, post which one below and I can hook you up with the link. I've actually opened up lots of calls for these ones. There's lots of availability, and not a ton of people have been taking me up on it. So I'm like, okay, well, if this isn't something that people want or need, then I'll probably stop offering so many calls. So if it's something you want, if it's helpful for you, post and join below. This is where I'm gonna, go over the last part. The last part is that it's really difficult to make changes to sleep. It's very challenging to break habits that are really ingrained, and it's really difficult to navigate sleep training. I try and call them sleep transitions or self-settling methods. It's really difficult to navigate these on your own. Rocking your baby to sleepy and placing in bed is not enough for your little one to break the habit and to break the sleep association. We actually have to go from rocking till super sleepy all the way till not rocking at all. It's got to be a gradual process of breaking off this habit if we want to see the change in sleep. Okay? The end goal has to be to stop the rocking. I know it's not easy to navigate on your own, and I know it can be full of a lot of challenges and emotions along the way. One of my clients last night, she was putting her little one to bed, and I was messaging her back and forth for quite a while she was doing the process, and she said at one point she was in tears. It was just a really challenging, toddler boundaries sort of situation, that sort of thing. So I totally get it. It's tough, and it's even worse when you don't know if you're doing it correctly, if you're, If you're like, well, maybe I'll try this thing, maybe I'll try that thing, am I doing the right thing, is this gonna work? I don't know. So this is why I started the 3 Weeks to Better Sleep program. If you want support and you want to use gentle strategies and you want a really great night of sleep, like that is exactly what I'm here for. I specialize in sleep, I love helping families, and I really care about you and your family, and I really want families to get a really great night of sleep, okay? I have a hard time with the idea of like just waiting it out, because you could be enjoying the time that you have right now, right? Like your little ones are only little for a time, and if you make changes to sleep now, 3 weeks from now, you could be enjoying your time, your life, right? You guys could be, going to the park, or, I don't know. You could do your laundry that's like, never getting done. You could feel like life is just such a wonderful place to be instead of feeling like a zombie mom all the time. And like that's why I started the 3 Weeks to Better Sleep program. So if that's what you want to make changes, you want your life to be completely changed, 3 weeks from now, post below 3 Weeks to Better Sleep, and I will send you a message and we will set up a one-on-one call. I can give you, my strategies, my recommendations, and if you're interested in working with me, I can definitely support you through a 3-week program because it's challenging. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of priority. It's difficult to navigate, but it's so rewarding in the end. Okay, so let me know if anyone has any questions. I hope to hear from you guys from all the different things that I kind of mentioned, and have a great weekend. Bye.